Oh, Jenny, for heaven's sakes, don't crowd things so much. You want to spread them out. It makes them look more appetizing.
Well, you have so much food, Mrs. Dorn. I thought you were just expecting 4 other people.
Oh, I am. Oh, get that, would you, dear? Of course. I'd rather have too much food than not enough.
Oh, okay, Oscar, thank you. 3 of your guests have arrived, Mrs. Dorn, and they're on their way up.
3 of them? I wonder who's missing. Oh, look, wait, throw a couple of logs in the fire. What a big roaring fire.
But it's a little warm, Mrs. Dorn.
Darling, they're going to be opening those doors and it'll be... Oh! Come on with the colors, Jenny. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Oh, don't you look spectacular?
Oh,
Too bad it's such a small party.
Oh, I love small parties, darling. You look gorgeous.
Well, for all the time she took to get ready, you'd think she were going to the grand ball.
Well, she is. This is the grand ball. Oh, Nicole, how lovely you look.
Margot.
I hope you insisted that Miles wear a black tie.
Well, at the moment, Miles is wearing his doctor's suit. He's still at the office.
Just thought I'd see if you were okay, whether or not you're going to start the new year feeling better.
Oh, yeah, Miles, I am feeling absolutely fine. I have every intention of being perfectly healthy in 1980.
Well, I hope you don't intend to party too much tonight. I mean, no alcohol, right?
Oh, well, it's New Year's Eve, Miles.
Deborah?
All right, well, Steve's just coming over here for dinner if he ever gets here, and that's all.
Well, tell me something. Have you seen your next-door neighbor lately, Mrs. Corey?
No, I haven't. I think she's probably visiting her friend.
Oh, that's good, because I don't think you really need a good Samaritan anymore.
Yeah, I suppose not.
Well, you have a wonderful time, Deborah. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you. Bye.
So long. Good Samaritan or an evil witch?
Are you implying that I'm playing the part of this Martha Corey?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you're doing.
Oh, that's surely the most ridiculous accusation
Listen,
I've ever heard
Mrs.
in my
Madison,
life.
I know you don't have any liking for Deborah. You can talk all you want about how fond you are of her, but I happen to know differently.
I used to be fond of her, yes. Once. That, of course, was before my husband became even fonder of the girl.
I know. Well, the thought occurred to me that you might find it amusing to be playing some kind of practical joke on Deborah. But I tell you, if this is a joke, it's getting out of hand.
You know, I'm flattered. Do you honestly think I'm that great an actress that I could assume a real-life role and get away with it?
Yeah, I think you're a very good actress.
Well, aren't you kind? Doctor, you've definitely made my day. Unfortunately, it isn't true. I'm far too busy for practical jokes. But I hope you're not too busy to see a doctor yourself. You do need one, you know.
Do I?
And I know what he'll recommend. Change of environment. A good long rest in some quiet place, and I'm sure you'll feel so much better in a very little while.
Well, she's right about one thing. I could use a rest.
Elliot, how splendid you look.
Almost as elegant as a head waiter, wouldn't you say?
Not at all. You look like the movie idol you're going to be, Mr. Elliot Dorn.
Well, that is definitely something to drink to. Hey, and I see you've got something lovely to drink.
Let me help you.
No, I'm the expert. All those months of field training at the Unicorn should come in handy. Maybe I should have ordered a bottle at the restaurant.
Oh, no, that would have been a waste, darling. You know I don't touch this stuff. The new Nola Madison.
Well, I saw nothing wrong with the old one.
Just bite your tongue, young man.
Does this mean I drink alone?
Oh, no. Here, I have my sparkling water.
Good, just as long as it's sparkling. Like your eyes.
You're supposed to wait until midnight.
Couldn't possibly.
There should be laws against excessive charm, Elliot.
I wouldn't mind if the punishment were solitary confinement with you. You know, I'm wondering if it's such a good idea to have made this reservation.
Well, it was your own.
I know, but it's bound to be crowded and noisy and full of drunks who have nothing better to celebrate than their own emptiness.
You cynic.
I still think we would have been much cozier here.
Oh, well, darling, Armando's is a terribly elegant restaurant. I doubt if there'll be a lot of drunks or even very noisy.
Well, what won't be is private. But there's one consolation. We can always herald in the new year right here. What do you say to that?
Well, if that's the schedule, we'd better leave right away.
We'd better.
Just let me have 1 minute, and I'll leave with you. I'm serious, Doctor. I wouldn't tell anyone this theory of yours unless you want to gain a very suspicious reputation about your mental competency.
Well, then I think I'm safe. I don't have to tell anybody this theory, Mrs. Madison, because as soon as you walk out of this office, the problem's going to be solved.
How exactly?
You're going to make me a solemn promise to end this masquerade. You are never again going to go near Deborah Saxon's apartment building as Mrs. Corey or anyone else.
And if I do, you'll call the police.
I can just tell Deborah, her friend Steve Guthrie, they are the police. They will unmask you, and I don't think you'll enjoy that very much. It's over, Mrs. Madison. Do you understand that? More important, do you agree?
It's impossible to make yourself any more beautiful.
Oh, just let me get my purse and we'll be all set. In excessive use, the stimulant effect, which may produce an exaggerated euphoria, is soon followed by a profound and lasting depression. In cases of large overdoses, the result is amphetamine psychosis. These psychotic reactions, which may occur during its use or after withdrawal, are virtually identical to paranoid schizophrenia.
Everything all set?
Oh, yes. Everything is all set.
Going in straight. No leaks. Follow my own prescription. 2 aspirins and a nice, tall drink of water.
You look beautiful. What is it, beautiful or gorgeous?
You're late.
Yeah.
I've already got the champagne on ice, and if you would like any more beer, there's plenty of Milwaukee 1979 in the fridge.
hey, that's an excellent year. What about the caviar?
I couldn't find any caviar, just fish eggs.
Yuck, I hate fish eggs. Anyway, look, I brought some French champagne. I got Italian bread, Dutch chocolate, and Swiss cheese. What more could you ask for?
American bicarbonate.
Yeah. Hey, you look sensational. Who would have thought just a couple of days ago you were at death's door? Seriously. You look more and more beautiful every day.
Well, can't wait till I'm 40.
Oh, I don't know if I can stand all the blinding beauty.
You may not even know me when I'm 40.
I intend on knowing you when you're 85.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be very much to look at then. I probably look like some old bag, like
Mrs. Corey?
No, it's not very nice to say that. No, she's a nice lady. In fact, Miles called to ask about her 3 times tonight.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he called to find out how I was and tell me not to drink any champagne, although I could really use a glass right now. I guess she's out visiting her friend. I don't really know.
Oh, I bet he was just a little concerned. Afraid you'd be here all by yourself. No one to look after you. Did you tell him I was on my way over?
Yeah?
You weren't impressed? Well, I may not be the greatest nurse in the world, but I'm a hell of a good cook. You know, they say some of the best chefs in the world are men.
Steve.
Huh?
I've tasted your cooking.
Oh, that's too bad.
Don't worry, I'll help you out. In fact, why don't you open that and I'll get... Steve, you know, it's almost midnight.
Oh, look, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to be late. You know how those parties down at headquarters get? Oh.
Yeah.
This'll help.
What do you think this New Year's gonna be like, huh?
I think it's going to be terrific. With a little bit of luck and
what?
a whole lot of love.
You know, I think it was love that caused all my problems in 1979.
Well, maybe love will solve your problems in 1980. Thank you very much for letting me be here to start it with you.
You know, I ought to be thanking you for being here. I mean, I'm sure you would much rather be out there whooping it up with everybody else.
I know exactly where I want to be when 1980 begins.
Well, it's not here yet.
No, but I better start now if I want to be there on time.
Hard to believe we're facing the 1980s, isn't it? Not too long ago, 1980 seemed like the title of a science fiction novel.
What would you like most for the new year?
More of what I have right now.
I wouldn't change anything either. Although sometimes they change whether we want them to or not, don't they?
True, but we do have some control over our destinies.
Honey, please. I know you're going to say something about the series I'm writing. Don't.
You are getting into the high-risk area by writing about drug pushers.
Mike, we can't hide from the world. We have to take chances. You certainly have. You've certainly taken more chances than I ever have.
Yes, but circumstances were slightly
Now,
different.
don't say because I'm a woman I shouldn't. Women are doing all kinds of things these days. Deborah Saxon is a very good example of that.
But Deborah went through the police academy. She was taught how to deal with criminals. The fact that you're getting on-the-job training is what worries me.
Sweetheart, I really don't think that what I'm doing is dangerous. However, if it should turn out to be that, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
Run.
Just be sure you have a good pair of running shoes.
I will, honey. I will be all right. I will. Now, I want you to remember your promise that you won't ever interfere.
All right. Like a little more wine?
I would like a little more conviction with that answer.
All right, Nancy. I won't interfere.
These nifty toys. We'll have to come here every night. Here you are. Oh, thank you.
Have a very happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you. Well, I'd say this calls for a toast to Mrs. Geraldine Saxon,
alias Grandma. The most beautiful woman in this restaurant, and possibly the whole darn town.
Well, I must say you're very gallant, Mr. Swift. But then that figures gallantry and idiocy often go hand in hand in the very young.
Ah, them's fighting words, ma'am.
It is idiotic. I mean, taking out an old woman on New Year's Eve, I find it absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, yeah?
Which doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it immensely.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I couldn't think of anybody else I wanted to go out with.
I know. You're still living in that little shell of yours, afraid to venture out and find some nice young woman who will make your life more pleasant.
Why is it that everybody thinks bachelors lead such empty lives?
Most bachelors I know don't. Why, their lives are fairly cluttered with young women. But you haven't even started that new little black book of yours, have you?
Never even had an old black book.
Oh?
No, mine was brown. 2 volumes, Moroccan leather. Very tasteful.
Now, Logan, I want you to make me a promise before the clock strikes midnight. You can call it a resolution, call it anything you like.
I have a sense of what this is going to be.
Now, my dear, you know I am absolutely right about
Geraldine, I'm not going to start hanging around singles bars, even for you.
this. There are other ways of meeting people. Why, I was just talking about this very subject just the other day. I can't remember now how it came up.
I'll bet you can't.
Let me see. Who was it? Oh, yes, I remember. It was April.
Oh, no.
The day of the Christmas party.
You didn't talk about this with April, did you?
Well, she just happened to mention that she knew any number of young women who were very nice.
You don't have to do this. There's no need for you to solicit people to go out and matchmake for me, especially April and Draper.
I didn't solicit, for heaven's sake. It was just party talk.
It's not necessary. Trust me, all right? Now we can drop this subject and I can enjoy the rest of my evening with the most interesting woman in Monticello. What do you say? Shall we give it a try?
By all means.
Thank you. Yes, that's why Margot came to Monticello. Because she discovered that her daughter April was living here. A daughter she had abandoned 25 years ago.
It's a most extraordinary story.
Yes, and April was in trouble at that time. In fact, she was sentenced to prison.
Oh, but you say she was innocent of the crime.
Oh, yes, there's no doubt about that. But she, at a certain time, thought that she might have killed her sister-in-law.
Why would she think that?
Because she thought she may not have been in her right mind. She thought that she had inherited some sort of mental disease from her mother. A poor woman who was confined to an institution for years and years. And who finally killed herself.
Now, I'm really confused. Isn't Margot Dawn April's mother?
Oh, yes, but Margot is April's real mother.
Oh, I see. But April thought that this poor, demented woman was the woman who gave birth to her.
That's right. But Margot gave birth to her. Gave birth and abandoned her. Only to come back and reclaim her 25 years later.
You know, I'd like to make a little pre-midnight toast. Here's to a sensational 1980 season for WMON and a sensational baby for my darling daughter.
Right.
Well, thank you. And you notice which one came first.
Oh, come on, darling, you know who comes first.
And I'm going to throw in a little peace on earth. I don't think anyone can object to that, huh?
Here, here.
No, not at all.
I'll drink to that.
Well, what about you, Nicole? Everyone else has said what they want for 1980. What would you like?
Well, what I'd like for 1980 isn't very different than what you'd like for 1980. Mother.
Hello, everybody!
I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, it's all right. We're just in time for midnight.
Miles, you really should watch us. You're getting as bad as my husband.
Hey, Happy New Year, Lyle.
You're in the right mood.
Yeah, I feel terrific.
Have a drink.
Oh, you realize it's almost midnight?
Oh, let's get out there.
We will welcome the new year with all
right, baby.
of Monticello.
I didn't know Margot Dawn very well, although my husband did.
Well, I'm just as glad she's out of my life. Especially now that you're in it.
No, but she isn't.
No, she won't miss me. She's got a precious daughter.
Elliot, what I don't understand is, well, Miles Cavanaugh is April's brother, isn't he?
That's right.
But Margot isn't his mother.
No. You see, his mother is that poor woman who died in the institution.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Ah,
Oh, dear, we didn't get home in time for midnight.
it doesn't matter. We'll have the rest of the night together.
Happy New Year, Geraldine.
Happy New Year, love.
Happy New Year, darling.
Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year.
Listen to the city. Everybody's making noise. Huh?
Stop it! We better go inside. Let's go. It's too cold out here. Let's go inside. Come on, darling. Let's go inside.